Welcome to the CBJ Sports Roundup. I'm your host, Marcus, and I'm with Sam today. How are you, Sam?
I'm very well, all the better for seeing you, mate.
Very good. All right, we're going to get straight into it. Today is a lot of AFCON, as there was some great results last night, some AFCON madness. Group A finished last night, which had Ivory Coast and Nigeria, which includes 4 Nottingham Forest players. So there was a whopping loss for Ivory Coast, 4-0 to Equatorial Guinea, and could possibly go down as one of the biggest upsets in AFCON history. And that does leave Ivory Coast in 3rd position. And depending on results today, they could be out of the tournament already, with 3 Forest players coming back: Sangare, Bolly, and Aurier. Sangare did play the whole game, had a goal disallowed, and missed a very, very big chance, with Bolly coming back into the side and unfortunately conceding 4 goals. Aurier was sent on new sub. And then in the other game was Nigeria. They beat who was it? It was Guinea-Bissau 1-0, and Ole Aina did get involved with the goal, not an assist, but he was the pre-assist. And he's played every game, and so that he won't be coming back to Nottingham anytime soon. Have you seen the game, Sam? How would you make of it?
I think really the biggest problem for Ivory Coast is now the huge reliance they've got to have on other teams. So for people that don't know, only half the teams in 3rd can go through. So they are relying on other people. The teams most likely to take them out of the groups are Zambia, who are sat in 3rd and still have to play, Namibia and Algeria. All of those either have drawn 2 in Zambia and Algeria, or won 1, lost 1, like Namibia. Ivory Coast only coming out with 1 win out of 3. It's been a really poor tournament for them.
Exactly. And a question I was going to ask you, 3 players playing for Ivory Coast, this devastating result. If they do come back, do you think they'll have an impact on the squad morale, having these 2 players who just have disgraced their country?
It's a very strong way to put it. I think Forest are lucky. They've made some good signings across the back line. When you look at some of the players that are coming back, would Aurier really get back into the team over Montiel? I'm not so sure. Aina's been good, but so is Toffolo on the other fullback side. Amabama Deli settling in quite well, so whether Bolly would come straight back in, I'm not sure. Sangare, he's had a great tournament, but he's had a good season for Forest, despite the fact that Mino and Yates have been a decent pair. I think Sangare will probably most likely find his way back in, because despite the fact that they've done okay, they're conceding a lot of goals, Forest. 2 at Blackpool, 3 at Brentford. It's not great.
Definitely, Sangare looks like he would be back into the team, but Aurier, he brings the dressing room together a little bit. He's a good guy, but maybe there will be an aspect of low morale. But we'll see with today's results. Senegal are playing, so that's Kouyaté and Niakhaté are playing, but they're already through in the group, so it won't be, hopefully no injuries is what we'll be hoping for. Next time, we're going to go with some transfer news. So the rumours at the moment are Emmanuel Dennis. Well, I think it's pretty much confirmed that Emmanuel Dennis will be coming back from his loan in Turkey and off to back to Watford, and he's willing to take a 70% pay cut because he just really wants to help Watford. What do you think about this transfer? There's no obligation to buy, option to buy, but they'll be looking to sell in the summer probably.
Yeah, okay. When he was at Forest, he only scored a couple of goals. But if you remember back to 21-22 season when he first came to Watford, he got 10 goals in 33 appearances. For a Watford striker, it was a poor Watford team. They did end up going down that season. To get 10 goals in a very struggling side is pretty good. I remember, when he first came to Forest, writing a piece on how good he was going to be. Obviously, it's not worked out, but there's definitely a player in there, and I think he's definitely going to elevate the Watford attack.
Do you see him coming back in the summer, actually, maybe being involved for Forest? Maybe can he make his way back into the team?
I don't know, because it just hasn't worked out for whatever reason. And I think the Forest attack may have outgrown him. When he first signed, they'd just come up. They made all those signings, but they've now got, when he's fit, Elanga, they're getting a very steady attacking lineup, Gibbs White. So I'm just not quite sure where he would fit in. Maybe as a bench player, but with Forest, having a couple of money troubles, it might be better for them and better for Dennis himself if they just part ways at this point.
It looks at this point with the financial troubles, they are trying to sell. We've spoken about this on the live before. It's Mangala looks like he'll be going. It's again with these loans, which is not exactly what they want right now, but it's the obligations to buy later on. Joe Worrell will probably go off to the Championship. And McKenna, it looks like he could stay because the contract is up in the summer. So I think he might just run down his contract and go for free. Enough of Forest's transfer news. Now we're going to go on to a bit of Notts County here. I've kind of looked into this with Jaden Warner has been confirmed yesterday as the new centre-back from Norwich on loan. He's 21 years old. He was the captain of the under-21s. He's, I think Norwich chose Notts County because of the way they play, that play style, playing out the back, three at the back. And Jaden Warner he's 6'4". He's all playing centre-back and he's very quick, recovery pace, As a Liverpool fan myself, he kind of reminds me of Joel Matip. And I think, a young one at that, he's only 21. And I think this is going to be a great signing. I think for County fans, it's going to be one where don't fall in love with a lone player because it could be a good 6 months. He looks very, very promising. Norwich fans have been raving about him. He played in the Cup. I think it was the FA Cup against Fulham. And he put very, very good performance in. 3 performances in the league as well. He didn't look out of place in the Championship at all. So going down to League Two, I think will be really good. And sticking with that philosophy, Maynard has just come in and they're going to play the same formation, playing out the back, and promoting youth whilst also sticking with that philosophy. I think is going to be really good. Have you got any opinions, or have you not seen anything?
Yeah, so I'm intrigued. I didn't realise how bad County's goal conceding woes were. They're the third or fourth worst in the league. They've conceded 52 goals. This bloke, he's not an old player. He's not going to come in with the experience. How crucial is this guy going to be? Or is it just, look, it's a young lone player, is it more of a hype story? Or is he really going to be a stopgap in this defence?
I think he's going to play every game because the centre-backs they got at the moment are quite old. But you want someone in their prime ideally. But, 21, I think he's ready to step up. Alone is good. And we had this stat yesterday, actually, on the live that I found, is that Notts County have been involved in 112 goals this season in League Two. And obviously that, is in both ends this season. So I think he will, how much of a difference, I don't know, but I think he will play every game. Next up, there's some rumours, but Nico Williams might be going to the final. That might be something we'll talk about tomorrow if there's anything on it. But next up, we're going to go Mansfield Sutton, which was postponed on the weekend, but now it's playing tonight. Sam, you see them on a fairly regular basis. What do you think about this tonight?
I mean, poor old Mansfield, they can't catch a break with that pitch at the moment. There's been so many games that have had to be rescheduled this season. The difference between Mansfield this season and last season is night and day. They had an unbelievable unbeaten run that took them to November. They were actually the last team to lose their unbeaten run in the league. When you watch them last season, they're not huge. They're still scoring quite similar amounts, I feel, but the defence is just so much better. Aidan Flynn coming in has been an absolute revelation in the centre-half position. But on to tonight's game, it's been rescheduled, this night game. It's an opportunity for Mansfield to go 1 point off top and really select the place in the top 4. The points are quite tight, but Mansfield have acquired a few games in hand, so it does work in their favour. Sutton, on the other hand, they are rock bottom of the league. They've not had a clean sheet for so long. They're also, I think, the lowest shot takers in the league, facing the best defence in the league. So when you look at the statistics like that, it should be a walk in the park for Mansfield. Until you look at the history. When you look at the history of the game, Sutton have never lost to Mansfield at that ground while they've both been in the top flight of English football. So if Sutton are going to play off anything, it will be that fact. They've also brought in a new manager who got them almost announced against Barrow in a 2-2 draw, but it's the most goals they've scored in a game all season with 2. So they'll be hoping that they can just hold on tonight and maybe nick a goal, but Mansfield do not give them up lightly this season.
As someone who's watched them a fair bit, who would you say is a player to watch out if anyone's going to the game tonight?
Whenever you watch Mansfield and you see Kelly Dunn play, he is the most likely to score, Davis Keely Dunn. He doesn't always have the greatest games, but he's so interchangeable across in the attack, and he is the most likely to score. I'm pretty sure he's still their top scorer.
And what do you think about the promotion hopes? They're sitting in third at the moment. With a win, they could go a point behind Stockport, leapfrog Wrexham tonight. What do you think about that?
Well, when you looked at them if I remember rightly, last season, it was very close to who was going to get to the playoffs, and they just about missed out. In the last couple of games, they lost some they should have won. They didn't play great. And I think they drew to Rochdale as well, and Rochdale ended up going down in a very poor season. So they were on the verge then. What they've done really well is just strengthen the defensive signings. As we said before, Aidan Flint, Bailey Cargill has come in. So people like that, they really focus on the back line, which was their main issue, giving games away they should have won. Their attack's still quite similar to last season. So they had a very good summer window, and you would expect them to be right up there with no stress. Last season was a lot of stress with them, and maybe it got to them in the last couple of games. You would expect them to get the job done, at least get playoffs this time, at least. It's been a very, very poor season for them.
Brilliant. I think that rounds up our sports roundup for today. Tomorrow we will be back. There will be a few pieces up online today. We've got a referee abuse opinion piece from Joe James. It's a very interesting piece. He's got his own experience, and he's spoken to a referee as well. That'll be up. And Sam, you've got your preview up coming tonight, I think, or maybe tomorrow, something like that. And we'll be back tomorrow for another live. Thank you.
Cheers.